Morning, Brian. Are you okay?
Yeah, all good, thank you. How can I help you this morning?
Yeah, just wanted to wrap up the offer for the warehouse to change it into bed sits.
Yeah.
It was on it for just under 450,000. Now I've seen that you can get a development, development finance, but that would cover the cost of buying it and the build itself. So would I still go in for the money down here still or not?
It's entirely up to you if there's enough, because if there's enough profit at the end to value it up high enough, you can get 100% of the money that you need. So if you can get 100% of the money you need, then why not go for it that way?
Okay.
They do sometimes. Yeah, they do sometimes surprise you and don't get in if they found out that you were paying a lot less for it. They may well decide to reduce how much they lend you. Because the lenders always like to see you leave skin in the game. My relationship with the bridging company owner that used to allow me to buy stuff at 75% of market price, not 75% of value, was because he knew my track record.
Right.
And that, I only ever bought things that were that much below, because otherwise there's no point in buying them.
Yeah. Like if they do a no money down deal, when you put money inside the SPV, what is that money used for?
In an SPV, right. So just run it by me from the beginning again. What have we proposed that you set it up as?
450,000. We were going to do no money down deal.
So,
but we didn't.
Someone's going to take an option, a nominee, yeah? Is that the structure? Okay, so your actual real purchase price is how much?
Well, we didn't work out what the offer would be.
Okay, so has the vendor agreed to do what we want to do? Have they agreed?
Yes, he liked the idea of reinvesting his money in.
Right, so it's not an option deal, it's a vendor finance deal.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I need you to use the right terminology so I'm straight on it rather than having to fish around for it, yeah? But that's just a learning curve for you. So that's a vendor finance deal rather than an nominee option deal, okay? So vendor financing means that the true value of the property that could be valued at now is how much?
Once it's all done, 1.9.
No, I said now. What's the value of it now?
Oh, now 450,000.
Okay, and what have we agreed to pay the vendor day one, and how much is he reinvesting back into the property?
This is where I didn't know how much I'd want back off him. We didn't get that far.
Right, okay. But he's agreed to reinvest some of his money back in. Okay. What's the maximum value for now?
I'd probably say before the 50,000.
Right, okay. So that makes it a little bit awkward that there's no leverage at that end. We'll have a look at our exit strategy in a minute, but at 450 you need that to be, you need 25% plus the cost of stamp duty back from him. So if you're buying it at 450, you can borrow 75% of 450, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Right, so if you're going to borrow 75% of 450, so 75%, you're going to borrow, providing the bridging company say that they value it at 450, 337,500, okay? Now that means 450 times 25%. That means the vendor is going. So you're going to put 112,500 into the deal, yeah.
Yeah.
On day one. Okay. To top up your 337,500 mortgage.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're buying this in an SPV, and so then you will own the property having got a 75% mortgage and and put in 25% deposit. The owner will then buy back in the company's shares to the value of 112,500 plus the cost of the stamp duty, which let's say that is 10 grand, yeah. Just in fact, let's roll it up to 12.5 grand. So basically, he'll reinvest 125 back into the company, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Which will give you it means you'll own it for nothing, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Now, from a development finance point of view, how much are you going to spend on it, and what is the end value?
The end value is 1.9.
And that,
The cost of doing up between 5 and 600,000, I think.
okay. Right. Now, what the people lending you the 500 or 600?
Sorry?
The development finance company, are they agreeing to lend you the 337,500 and the 600 development finance?
I haven't got far with them yet. I just wanted to know which way was the best way to go around.
Well, you basically want to borrow 75% of the purchase price, 450, yeah, and 100% of the development finance. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that means that you'll, by doing it this way, getting the vendor finance for 125 grand, and also borrowing 600 grand. Let's look at worst case scenario. Borrowing 600 grand off of the development finance company, and that'll be based on the end value. They'll be happy to lend you all of it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things we need to do is to make sure that the end value will be 1.9, okay?
Yeah.
When you make your exit strategy at 1.9, okay, you'll be able to borrow 75% of that, which is 1.425, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, when you borrow the 1.425, that will pay back the 337,500 initial loan. Yeah?
Yeah.
It will pay back your 600 development finance, yeah? And potentially it will pay back the owner's 125 grand, yeah? 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, so that's 1,052,000. So basically, that is going to, after you've refinanced it, leave you 300 grand in the bank.
Happy days.
Okay, as well as paying the vendor back, as well as paying your development finance back, as well as paying back the purchase. Okay, there are obviously 20% cost in there, or costs in there as well. So you know, of the funding cost, etc., etc. But 300 grand is plenty enough margin to cover all of that. Okay. So you're probably going to walk out with this with 100 grand at the other end, and owning a property with a value of 1.9 million that you've got a 1.4 something mortgage on, yeah? Now that property will cash flow how much a month?
There's 12,000 in the lowest end, 12,760.
Per month, yeah?
Yeah.
your mortgage will be about £6,000 a month. Okay, so that's going to leave you £6,000 profit towards your running cost. Your running costs are going to be about 50 quid a room per month when you get to that many rooms. So how many rooms are there?
Yeah. 29.
So 30 rooms times 50 is 1,500 quid a month. So it's going to make you £4,500 a month, and it'll cost you nothing. And you'll have £100,000 in your bank.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.